A minute's movie recap, summary of the White Raven movie. We'll be seeing the war action movie, Sniper, in today's video. The White Raven. There will be spoilers after this. Relax and take it all in. Mykola Voronenko, a mathematician, physicist, and ecologist, says at the start of the film. He bids his pregnant wife Nastia farewell as he rides his bicycle off to work. They reside on a 2-hectare plot of land in a fairly tranquil part of Ukraine's Donbas region. They are regarded as the region's first eco-settlers. Mykola parks his bicycle and makes his way to the school where he works. He can see inside from the news that in Kyiv, the Ukrainian capital, special forces had killed 100 demonstrators. Also, he learns that their president has fled to Russia and is preparing an invasion of Ukraine. Mykola tries his best to impart knowledge and instruct his students while teaching physics. Ivan, one of the students, shows little sign of being interested in learning. Instead, he continues to argue with the teacher whenever he has the chance. Ivan approaches after the session is over and orders him to go because he is a stranger there. While riding his bike to work as usual, Mykola encounters armed men close to his property. He doesn't give it much thought and continues to show up for work. He parks his bike as usual and enters the building. The fact that he is the only teacher there and the location is deserted surprises him. According to the news, instability is spreading across the globe as Russian soldiers continue to occupy nearby territories. He quickly picks up his bike and rides back home. He worries about the armed men he earlier observed because his wife is by herself. He is not mistaken. He can watch his wife being beaten from a distance. He tries to assist but is instead shot in the back by a gun. He begs them not to touch her because she is pregnant, but they won't heed his pleas. One Russian soldier enters their home and sets it on fire. Natasha grabs a stone to retaliate as the two Russians are about to depart. After that, she is shot and dies in front of Mykola. Soon after, 2 Ukrainian militiamen assist Mykola in burying his wife while he goes back to their burned-out home. The wooden cross that his wife crafted for him is within his grasp. Mykola, unsure of what to do next, decides to travel with the Ukrainians after burying his wife with a broken heart. He travels to the Ukrainian militia's base camp with them. He is not trusted by the leader because he believes he might be a spy. He declares his plan to ally with them and expel the Russians from their nation. He is then offered the opportunity to train with them, but due to his pacifist beliefs, he knows very little about firearms and is finding the training to be challenging. He is shown by a woman how to take apart and put back together a rifle. He is adamant about learning. Mykola convinces his officer that he is no longer a pacifist one evening while exercising. He also favors the Raven as a code name. Code names are earned, he is reminded. He finds the training to be unfamiliar and difficult, but he is dedicated to arming himself with all the information and abilities necessary to exact revenge. The lack of snipers at the front is mentioned to the training. Few people express interest in volunteering to be trained when asked. Mykola gets to his feet and says he's ready to take on the challenge, because he can't even disassemble and reassemble a gun in time. The officer motions for him to sit down. Mykola requests a chance to demonstrate his ability. He promises to complete it in 20 seconds to the officer. The officer places an AK-47 on the table. To everyone's surprise, Mykola begins disassembling the rifle while wearing a blindfold. He then carefully reassembles the components. It just takes 18 seconds. This time, he receives cheers in place of laughing. Mykola has now acknowledged receiving sniper training. Mykola is taken aback when he receives a different gun from the other students during training. He won't go because he thinks it's unfair that he can't have the same weapon. He requests to receive an SVD-63, a designated marksman rifle that is semi-automatic, just like the other trainees. The people in control do not agree with this. Mykola is forced to accept what he has and make the most of it. The students are instructed to remain invisible at all times. The trainer will shoot at them from a distance of a few inches as part of the rest. They will fail if they react. Most students don't pass the test. Despite the high loudness and danger associated with this training, Mykola does not flinch. Another is to cover their scope after they've sighted the target. Mykola unable to connect. Mykola does not exploit the fact that he does not have the best weapon as an excuse. Even though he is aware of it, Mykola impresses the lieutenant colonel when the training emphasizes calculation since he is able to calculate the solution before his other students can. It helps that he is a mathematician. Mykola completes his training with the sniper. The lieutenant colonel once instructed Mykola to pack his belongings. He is a member of the group that will travel to a Russian-held checkpoint. The group takes immediate positional security. Every sniper has a different target. An automobile drives approaches the checkpoint as they prepare to carry out their plan. They are prevented from firing by the lieutenant colonel. The car's occupants are asked to exit the vehicle and show their passports. They are let to go after being checked, but the man's passport is kept. The man requests the return of his passport, but the Russian who took it won't give it to him. There is a commotion as a result. The male gets shot with a gun while the girl is smacked. They are given the all clear to fire by the lieutenant colonel. The Russian are then all put to death. The squad receives praise from the lieutenant colonel for their first mission's accomplishment. Mikola searches for his pals and other trainees when they get back to their command station. He is informed that their missions are distinct. Later, he learns that one of them was mercilessly murdered by a sniper. The group will eventually be assigned another mission. Explosives are set up, and a leaf hides the trigger. Mikola is shocked to see his former classmate among them as the Russians draw an EA. Ivan is the pupil who always irritates him. When the explosives go off, every Russian dies, including Ivan. Mikola is advised by the lieutenant colonel not to feel sorry for Ivan's choice. The lieutenant colonel takes a picture of his family while taking a nap. Mikola requests permission to examine it. The policeman informs him that his daughters are unaware of his line of work. He and his wife have an understanding that he will continue working for them. They are aware that he is traveling for work. The cross the lieutenant colonel has been carrying is now visible. If it's an amulet, he inquires. Mikola informs him that to him, it represents family. While the snipers are set up, Ukrainian forces protect the border-side trenches. Russian forces will soon pass by. It is only a question of time. The Russians are getting ready to assault the area in the meanwhile. From his scope, Mikola can see the man who killed his wife. He approaches the lieutenant colonel and requests authorization to fire. He is instructed to withdraw. Mikola makes a great shot and once more requests permission. At this moment, he is eager to take a chance. Mikola's plea is denied. But he can't afford to pass up this chance. The Russian is struck in the neck as he pulls the trigger. The Russian loses his life. The officer feels miffed that his request was disregarded. Unbeknownst to them, Sari, a Russian expert sniper, is also in a position to locate their whereabouts. Sari is spotted by the lieutenant colonel. Mikola receives the location of the sniper from him, but the Russian is too quick to respond. Afterwards, the policeman is slain. Now that their location is compromised, Mikola is aware of it. As he faces the Soviet assault, he places the dead officer on his back. He locates a ditch and seals it off for protection. He is able to escape unharmed, but the cop is less fortunate. He feels a great deal of guilt for killing the officer who always had faith in him and had given him the opportunity to serve. He was asked not to go for the kill, but his emotions got the better of him and he did. Finding the sniper responsible for his death is the only way to exact revenge. Mikola travels alone on a mission. He can take out 2 snipers once he spots them, but not before getting shot in the arm. Mikola gets a call from the brigadier general while he is sleeping and tells him about the Russian sniper, but he is unable to give any further details at this time. After they meet, he wants to tell Mikola everything. Mikola prepares his supplies and moves toward the destination. He has the chance to learn more about the Russian sniper at this time. The brigadier general informs his men on the abilities of the Russian sniper. He has already taken out their machine gunners and 5 snipers. He is an opponent to be taken seriously. They know from the kills he made where his favorite position is. He stays in the same place. The officer is against the idea of a Ukrainian soldier filling the area with mines. He listens to Mikola, who is from the area, explain why they can't just do that. Mikola warns that employing explosives to kill the sniper could have negative effects on the ecology because the area where he is hiding has chlorine storage. The assignments for each sharpshooter are then presented. The officer makes it plain that he wants Mikola to scale the building and shoot the Russian sniper after the secondary targets are taken care of. They are then let go. All snipers are ready to fire their weapons. Mikola crawls into the target area and declares that he is finally in place. He is able to sneak up behind 2 Russians and kills them both right away. The individual that visited him at his home was one of the 2. The other snipers lock onto their targets and await the command to fire. After counting down to fire at the same precise moment, they succeed in eliminating their targets. Sari observes that his lookouts are no longer returning reports. He gets up from his desk to see what's happening outdoors. There seems to be a problem with their communication. So another Russian sniper leaves his post to investigate. They are unaware that Mikola is approaching and waiting for the ideal opportunity to fire and murder them both. One of the snipers outside is examined by Sari. It appears that the sniper is still in its position. When he learns that the sniper has been killed, he is shocked. He makes a backup request. He is instructed to wait for the crew to show up for 10 minutes. Sari returns to his place and fixes his gaze once more on the horizon. He observes a wooden crucifix that is close by. Mikola then leaps onto his back and stabs him in the neck before he has a chance to respond. The other sniper returns to his position as well. When he does, a grenade explodes, killing him as well. The backup that Sari was hoping for is now present as the film comes to a close. Sari receives a radio communication from a Russian officer. When Mikola receives the phone, he informs the caller that they would be held accountable for what they did in Crimea, another region that the Russians seized. Then Mikola murders him. Russian soldiers emerge off the trucks, but the Ukrainian snipers, who are strategically placed to kill everyone, are no match for them. Mikola returns to his home and pays a visit to his wife's grave when the smoke has cleared. His purpose to exact revenge for her passing has been fulfilled. But the work is not yet finished.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe now. Your support to this channel. More videos coming soon.